Good day, you're watching Businessworld Live. I'm Danie, Laurel. Here are today's top stories. The Sugar Regulatory Administration is getting a facelift following the resignation of its key officials who signed an unauthorized sugar importation order. With the Bangko Sentral widely expected to hike interest rates at their policy meeting today, BSP Governor Felipe Medalla is not ruling out further tightening for the rest of the year. The Budget Department says President Bongbong Marcos will submit the proposed 5.268 trillion peso 2023 budget to Congress next week. And the House Ways and Means Committee approves a bill that seeks to impose a value-added tax on digital services. We begin our broadcast with President Bongbong Marcos looking to reorganize the Sugar Regulatory Administration within the week. The president said that once the SRA overhaul is completed, he will meet with industry stakeholders to discuss the country's sugar crisis. He said he has been in negotiations with traders to bring down sugar prices. The planned reorganization comes after the Department Undersecretary Leocadio Sebastian and key officials of the SRA board stepped down from their posts due to the unauthorized order to import up to 300,000 metric tons of sugar.
We are going to reorganize the SRA, and as soon as that's done, that should be done this week. And then we will come to an arrangement with the industrial consumers, with the planters, the millers, as suppliers of the sugar to coordinate para talaga kung ano yung meron, kung ano yung available, mailabas na sa merkado. And yung kulang, kunin na natin, mag-import na tayo. Mapipilitan talaga tayo.
The Senate Blue Ribbon Committee is set to launch its own probe into the sugar importation mess. Committee Chairman Senator Francis Tolentino vows that the investigation will not evolve into a political circus. Man Los Baños with the details.
The Blue Ribbon Committee, under its new chairman, Senator Francis Tolentino, is set to launch a probe into the botched importation of sugar by the Sugar Regulatory Administration next Tuesday. Ahead of the hearing, Tolentino says he will not allow the proceedings to turn into a political circus. He also vows to respect witnesses and resource persons. But the committee chairman notes that if a person is proven to have committed irregularities like corruption, they will not think twice in filing charges before the ombudsman.
We will not be here to witch hunt, to have a fishing expedition. We will be here in the succeeding hearings to gather and uncover the truth. Kahit sino po ang masaktan, we will do what is right.
Members of the committee have pledged their support for Tolentino.
Lahat ng sinabi mo po kanina, I fully agree 101%. You can manage and you can handle this committee effectively, Mr. President. That's all. Thank you. Again, I'm here to support you all the way.
Sinusundan ko po yung inyong sinambit patungkol doon sa itong committee na ito ay hindi kailanman papaboran kahit na sino at hindi magiging instrumento para gamitin sa pansariling politikal na interes.
Over at the lower house, Minority Leader Marcelino Libanan has already filed a resolution to formally investigate the sugar importation mess.
Gusto nating malaman lang at makagawa ng tamang rekomendasyon para hindi na mangyari yung mga ganito. Hindi dahil nakasulat kung anong dinaanan mo, tama ka. May tinatawag yan na grave abuse of discretion.
Reporting for News 5, Man Los Baños, we are One News.
Meanwhile, the Trade Department clarifies that they do not have any jurisdiction to inspect sugar warehouses. In an interview with 1PH sa Totoo Lang, Trade Assistant Secretary Ann Cabochan said that the power to inspect warehouses belongs to the Agriculture Department, particularly the Sugar Regulatory Administration. Cabochan adds that since soft drinks are not considered basic commodities, they cannot regulate its price. The country's top soda makers have earlier confirmed that they are facing a shortage of premium refined sugar.
Actually po yung soft drinks, hindi po yan siya nakalista dun sa batas na kinoconsider natin na basic necessities of prime commodities. Hindi po siya BNPC. we're hoping that competition will still be able to operate, tapos hindi masyado silang magtataas, kasi kung masyado namang mataas yung isang brand, syempre pupunta sa ibang brand.
Well, it's a big mess, but is there or isn't there a sugar shortage? Here to chime in on what's happening on the supermarket shelves, we have with us Stephen Kua, President of the Philippine Amalgamated Supermarkets Association. Good morning, Sir Stephen. Welcome back.
Hi, good morning, Danie.
Sir, you said on the big story last night there is an ample supply of sugar in supermarkets. So what is the discrepancy here? Manufacturers, beverage makers calling for importation, saying there is a shortage.
Well, so far, no, the keyword is so far, there is ample supply, no, in supermarkets. I've made my rounds and saw that most supermarkets still carry sugar. They still have sugar, no? But, let's not wait for sugar to lose its sweetness on the shelves of supermarkets before we start another round of, news reports on it's gone, no, that the sugar is gone. So, it's been 2-3 weeks since we first discovered that sugar has gone beyond 100 a kilo. And the business sector feels that, it's mostly politics that's been taking over and not, economic reasoning, no, in trying to solve this dilemma.
Sir, this sugar issue has actually been a long-standing issue in the country, no? Bakit ngayon palang lumalabas, and is this the first time you've seen the prices go up this dramatically, so to speak, or has this already been a problem that we've had, hindi lang siya napansin?
I think within our lifetimes we've seen it happen many times. Okay, I guess the root of the problem is long-term planning, no? And be able to consolidate the plans of the different sugar farmers and planters and producers, no? We're an agricultural country. We call ourselves such, no? Sana rice, sugar, and all these other prime commodities, which I think we can, supply ourselves, no? Sana napagplanuhang mabuti para hindi po sa quick fix solutions like importing these items.
Okay, sir, just to clarify now for our viewers here, is the supply of sugar the same for the supermarkets that are getting the sugar and putting them in the shelves and the beverage makers, or is there different means of supplying this, kaya some have shortages, some don't?
Different means of supply. I think for a time, if I'm not mistaken, soda makers import high fructose corn syrup, no, for their sweetener for their products, no? But I don't know if now they're using refined sugar as well, no? But yun na nga, dapat hindi nag-aagawan ng, kaya kailangan may long-term planning, di ba? Para at least alam mo na masupplyan mong industrial needs, the commercial needs, and the household needs, no, for refined sugar.
Okay, sir, you mentioned the prices have become, so to speak, exorbitant, no? Is this something that you can attribute to the general inflation, the general taas ng bilihin, or is it something that's completely disconnected from what's going on in, I don't know, in the war of Ukraine, in supply side issues, supply chain issues, fertilizer prices? Is there another reason for that pagtaas ng bilihin for sugar?
I think it's connected. General naman yung, in general, the conditions which have made prices of other commodities go up has also added to the price of sugar, no? Kaya lang, syempre, may other inputs ng sugar na wala dun sa mga ibang commodities, no? I guess the supply chain, because sugar is bulky, no? So bringing it in or transporting them from a place of where the millers are, no, to the warehouses and then to the retail outlets, no, I guess may connection din yun, no, because fuel has gone up, so the cost of transportation, no, traffic, the new rules, the new MMDA curfew, the new ordinances and the new rules on trucks not being able to ply the streets of Metro Manila, no, and deliver the goods to the urban centers, no, to retail outlets. I guess it all adds up also to this.
Okay, sir, do you have visibility on the retail prices of sugar, on whether this is going to be a temporary issue and how many months you can envision this, and is it less or more elastic than the prices, let's say, in the palengke compared to supermarkets?
It's been 2-3 weeks. We noticed now. Okay, since June 1, it was 70 plus a kilo, 72.50, something like that. Okay, so within 2 months, it has gone up to 103,
Okay.
105.
Oo.
So that's 40% increase in 2 months. No, so that's a huge and alarming. No, price increase for one commodity, a major commodity. No, which everyone uses every day. So we're hoping that this won't last, and I don't think it will. But in the meantime, again, it's been another 2-3 weeks since it's gone up to more than 100 a kilo. So we're not thinking of wishing it. We're not thinking of instantaneous, no, biglang baba ang presyo, no. Pero SRE says 70 would be a good price for sugar per kilo. But it's a long way from 100 plus to 70. So I don't think biglaan din yun, no. So sana konti-konti maging 90 plus, no, para at least makita ng tao na there has been some movement, some decisions and actions taken, no, for the price of sugar to make it more affordable, palatable for the consumer.
Are you seeing an effect on other types of goods? For example, Coke, sodas, beverages. Is that directly linked with the price of sugar? From 40% increase, nag-increase din ba yung drinks that have direct sugar as the main ingredient?
Very good question. Let's not wait for that, no? Kasi a lot of items
Kaya pa, oo.
use sugar. We're talking ice cream. We're talking,
Tama.
and let's use other sweeteners, no? But I think they use a lot of sugar, no? We're even talking about the turon sa tabi ng kali na nagluluto, nagbibenta ng banana Q, no? So a lot of people use sugar. And I noticed that a lot of consumers have shifted to brown or washed, which is cheaper, and to smaller packs, which are 1/4 kilo. Before, some supermarkets don't carry that small packs, but now they do. Now they do.
Very interesting. So may shift na nangyayari, but as you mentioned, so far we haven't really seen that being priced in as of yet. Sir, let's shift the discussion to what we ran earlier on. No? The DTI earlier announced there's going to be an SRP list. So price increases 3.29% to 10% for all the basic goods, canned sardines, noodles, detergent, soap. No, what does this mean to you? Is this a fair way? Are these increases fair given the cost of fuel and other inputs to produce such basic goods?
I would tend to think so. There are those not on the list of TTI. Some of them have gone as high as 20%. No? So DTI's SRP is serving its purpose by trying to rein in, no, so that hindi masyado mataas ang increase, no, para hindi mag-runaway inflation. But we do have an issue with the latest list of SRP, no?
Okay.
They've come up with the list with prices which go like 67 centavos. May butal, no? 13 pesos and 13 centavos. We were wondering why it came out that way, no? This latest list, no? Kasi wala tayong sentimo tsaka BSP's trying to take off production of 1 centavo coins, no? Then all of a sudden they're gonna come out with prices like that. It's a bit confusing.
Okay.
Our members have been asking me, Steve, ano ba nangyayari? And I said, I don't know, but we have to ask DTI, but I think, and I asked them, they said there was no miscalculation there. So,
Okay, so fair prices. And sir, with this, will you see a direct impact, and how soon will the impact be on the prices on the shelves? And will this have an impact on the volume being sold? Or is it something that consumers are expecting already and hindi naman mag-iiba yung demand?
Some traders, sugar traders, have not delivered. Okay, so I don't know whether they ran out of sugar or I don't want to say they're hoarding, but some have not delivered. So I don't know how soon everybody's gonna run out of sugar. No, I hope not. Because our local sugar, millers and traders said they do have stock. So the president said he's going to meet them. So I hope they'll come up with some figures to make sure that we are served. Supermarkets and retail outlets, and even public markets are served with sugar before importation comes in.
Sir, what about the other basic goods whose prices are now going to go up? Will this impact the demand?
I think it will, no? Kasi sugar nga is a main component of practically every product. Sugar, salt, yan, ginagamit talaga sa halos lahat. You wouldn't believe, but even sugar, even ice cream cones they have salt also, no? Sugar and salt, no? So main component yan. pag tumaas at gumalaw ang presyo niyan, gagalaw at gagalaw ang presyo ng lahat ng bilihin. Pero I'm hoping na they will be able to stem this, they will be able to come up with solutions soon enough, supply soon enough, so that before it gets that far. Kasi otherwise, it's gonna affect everything else.
Sir, apart from sugar, there are other issues. Onions daw. The prices in supermarkets are also going up. The DA said they're considering to import. Tell me, is there really a shortage of onions or in other types of products or produce? And we had Sinag on the show saying that this is usually a product naman that we do import. Or is there an actual shortage of produce that we are seeing right now?
Again, I feel we need long-term planning talaga. I mean, beyond any administration, whoever's president. No? In other countries, that's why they keep improving, because, regardless of who's the leader in agriculture or for the country, continuous ang program nila, di ba? That's why they keep growing. No? They keep growing their industries. Tayo, baliktad eh. Kapag nagpalit ang administration, be it the top honcho or the department head, no? Nag-iiba yung directives, nag-iiba yung galaw ng mga magsasaka, no, yung mga nagtatanim, yung mga investors, no. So we keep guessing which direction or where we're supposed to go, no. If they'll say that there will be no importation, example lang, a very harsh decision, no importation, I guess everybody's gonna rush in and invest in onions and invest in sugar, right? So see, I mean, that's why they have to put their foot down and say, I won't be giving into any lobbying or giving into any, people trying to convince me to go this way or that way. No, it has to be a particular way so that we move forward. That way is forward. We should be moving forward.
All right, well, let's see what the directive of the president is. He says that will be solved out this week, at least the probe in the SRA. Maraming salamat po. That is Stephen Kua, President of the Philippine Amalgamated Supermarkets Association.
Thanks for having me, Danie. Have a great day.
Now, pausing for a quick break, but coming right up after that, a measure imposing a 12% VAT on foreign digital service providers hurdles the House Committee on Ways and Means. More of that and other stories when Businessworld Live returns. Stay with us. Is ready for submission to Congress by as early as Monday. The 2023 budget is 4.9% higher than this year's 5 trillion peso spending plan. Now, in the same event, Budget Secretary Amena Pangandaman said the budget proposals are responsive to agencies' expenditure directions and key sector strategies for next year.
And for us at the DBM, budget reform remains our top priority. This will allow us to effectively and efficiently lead public expenditure management and ensure the equitable, prudent, transparent, and accountable allocation and use of public funds.
Meanwhile, Finance Secretary Ben Diokno said that government revenues continue to pick up as the economy further reopens. This, he noted, will help the government fund its spending plan for next year.
Our revenues are on the rise, reflecting improvements in the labor market driven by robust economic activity. This year, we expect revenue collections to already exceed its pre-pandemic level.
President Bongbong Marcos has directed the NEDA to review certain provisions of the revised rules of the Build, Operate, Transfer or BOT law. Now, during a forum hosted by the Economic Journalists Association of the Philippines, Socio-Economic Planning Secretary Arsenio Balisacan said the agency is now awaiting the convening of the committee to review the BOT rules. The previous administration came out with the revised guidelines for the law back in April. Business groups and some economists have raised concern over the rules, saying it compels the private sector to shoulder more risks in infrastructure while relieving the government of responsibility for delayed deliverables. Balisacan said the president is aware of these issues, which is why he called for a careful review of the guidelines.
Of course, the careful review of the rules requires that we perform a balancing act, encouraging private investment to promote job creation, technological innovation, and product competition, while protecting the public interest.
Now, still from that EJAP forum, BSP Governor Felipe Medalla says he is not ruling out more interest rate hikes for the rest of the year. The Bangko Sentral is widely expected to raise the benchmark interest rate today, with most analysts forecasting a 50 basis point increase. If realized, this would bring the benchmark rate to 3.75%. The House Ways and Means Committee has approved on first reading a bill that imposes value-added tax on digital transactions. Now, if this measure becomes law, sales of digital services like online ads, subscriptions, and similar online services will be subject to 12% VAT. In that case, the government could raise about 9.2 billion pesos in additional tax revenues within the first year of its implementation. But House Ways and Means Committee Chair Joey Salceda clarifies local DSPs like Lazada and Shopee will be exempted from the potential VAT.
Itong mga non-resident foreign corporation, they pay VAT in their home country, even if the income is earned in the Philippines. So what we are trying to say here is that the income that is earned in the Philippines should be VATed.
The committee also approved a proposal to impose a 20 peso excise tax for every kilo of single-use plastic bags. If implemented, this is said to significantly decrease plastic waste in the country and net the government 923 million pesos in additional revenue.
This mass consumption of plastics, most of which are single-use, has had significant detrimental effects on the environment. Moreover, plastic wastes have exacerbated our country's problem with flooding. All of these highlight the need to curb the use of plastic bags.
And those are the biggest stories on the economic and corporate front today. I'm Danie, Laurel. We are One News, all sides, all the time. Don't go away. We'll give you the latest on the local bourse when Businessworld Live returns. Stay with us. you're back watching Businessworld Live. Straight to my Bloomberg terminal here, where you can see the index sliding a touch. We are still above 6,700, but down 0.6% from yesterday. And you could see that that uphill climb we've had, that was 7 straight days of a rally where we gained 7%, has gone down a touch. We actually already rose to 14.6 times our 12-month forward earnings. That's the highest we've seen since at least June 9. But this, of course, also happened yesterday on the back of a regional stock retreat in the rest of Asia. There's an anemic Chinese economic outlook there. Now, of course, all eyes will be on what the BSP will be doing today. They are expected to fire, of course, on another interest rate hike, but will it be 50 basis points? Will it be, higher than that? And we can see the peso here, however, strengthening a touch to 55.86, still quite, high, of course, or weak, if I could say so, compared to what we've seen in close to more than 12 years, actually. Now, I did want to take a look at one specific stock to watch, and that is Shakey's. So if you want to see some reprieve today, you can actually see the past 3 days, Shakey's has jumped by 1 3/10%. It did gain quite favorably yesterday, although now pulling back a touch. This, as they mentioned, that they're expecting their 2023 sales to exceed the pre-pandemic level. So they are shelling out quite a number of capex, saying that the reopening of the economy, particularly foot traffic, is going to bode well for the sales. And they also did mention that Potato Corner, which they now do own part of, is doing well in the international market. So one to watch out for there, not just Shakey's, but the rest of the restaurant operators, on whether they will actually be beating their pre-pandemic levels in terms of revenues. And that's it for today, August 18, 2022. Join us again tomorrow at exactly 9:30 a.m. You can also catch us on Signal Play. Register for a free account now. That's at www.signalplay.com, and stream One News Live anytime, anywhere. I'm Danie, Laurel. Mask on, wash hands, stay safe, Philippines. We are One News, all sides, all the time.